Wah, wah, wah.
Hold still. Hold
Wait,
still or I'll skin you alive.
this is...
I can see now why they were worried. I'd hoped to take
We've
you
already
alive.
done this part. Oh. Alright.
I've never seen a bounty this high. Even your corpse will buy me a new world.
It should now be plain to all gathered here that the Seeker threat is real and pressing. We must take the fight to them. As long as they have the faster-than-light communication capability of their Ansible tower, they will be pulling all of their forces to defend Enkul's strong points and hold out until their homeworld reinforcements arrive. If the main Seeker Armada turns its eye upon our little world, my brethren, we will surely suffer the same fate as thousands of worlds before us. We need to make sure they never do. Our spies have successfully sabotaged the Ansible. We need to strike hard and fast and take the capability out of their hands permanently. We will be inserted into a valley south of the Ansible. From there, we will move through the tunnels until we reach the Temple Annex. This plan depends on our stealth and speed to be successful. The Aurelian fleet should be overhead shortly after we have the cannons in our possession. We will be outnumbered and outgunned, my brethren. Charge your weapons and ready your blades.
What's wrong? Forget where the trigger is?
You know, it just occurred to me that this is the only thing I have left from home.
You mean you forgot to pack underwear? Hey, I was just kidding. Your underwear is your own business.
You can't come on this mission, Marin.
Oh, yes, I can.
Let me explain. There's nothing left of our world. Nothing left of humanity. To venture out on a ridiculously dangerous mission with both of us? I don't know what I was thinking. If I lost you, I mean, if either of us were lost.
Gideon, I don't... Wait, why should you get to stay? I've got way more experience than you.
If things go bad here, one of us needs to find a way to get past the Seeker Armada and stand before the Galactic Senate. The Seekers need to be unmasked. Humanity's voice must be heard. If I fail, if we can't shut down this Ansible, then you're humanity's last hope.
Okay, you've made your point.
What is the delay, Exalted Ones?
Dad grounded me.
What she means to say is that after some consideration, Marin will return to Arnis with the dropship.
I am relieved by the wisdom displayed by the Exalted.
Commander, the enemy sentries are swinging back towards our location. We must move now.
There has been a change of plan, Baneth. You are to take 2 of your Philitic Guard and escort this Exalted One back to Arnis. There you will keep her under close guard until this mission is fulfilled.
But Commander, this mission is already a long shot. To cripple ourselves from the onset by losing 3 of our best?
I have given you a command, Baneth. This outburst is beneath your discipline. Call your guard and move on my orders now! He is my fiercest warrior and most able captain. Forgive his passion, Exalted Ones, for therein lies his greatest strength. Our troops are prepared. Now we must move. Farewell, Exalted One.
Alright, fine.
Excuse me, Exalted One.
Exalted One, our spies report that a network of tunnels through these surrounding cliffs will lead us to the temple entrance. From there, we can slip unnoticed into the Ansible base and work our mischief.
Alright, let's do this. Yeah. Oh.
It's a matter of magnitude.
Hello, Sam. Wait, hello, welcome back. Thank you for those. Yeah. I double checked it. I found a good way to test it out. But so how's your day been? Day has been super good. We made a lot of progress with a Mega Drive cartridge system.
Does it not strike you as suspicious?
Now I'm just fixing a bit on the physics so that it ejects the cartridge in a good way. I'm pretty happy actually.
Silence! I hear movement in the tunnel above. There's something heavy.
Huh? So what are we supposed to do here? Nothing. It look. Ah, okay. There we go. Yeah. So now I'm settling dampenings and so on, so that so that the cartridges and so on doesn't feel like they are sliding on ice. Or like they have no mass and such stuff. So now it's kind of like we need to make a good Sega Mega Drive monitor and so on. Oh, right. Right. Let's just do it this way. Is it okay for you to call it Sega Mega Drive? I'm not calling it a Sega Mega Drive. I'm calling it a Mega Drive. For instance, that one I'm calling Dapper Mega Drive, but I need to come up with some cool company name for it though. think I heard you say how to make a second Mega Drive monitor.
Commander, the target is operational. I repeat, the target is operational.
Our data indicated that it would be another day until the Ansible was functional.
The Ansible is fully recovered from our earlier attack and is currently charging for an emission. Agent 2 reports that Ambassador Kachel is en route from Eralt.
This message must not be sent.
Yes, Commander. Hold on. I'm receiving multiple incoming... No!
Akale, report! Akale, what is your status? Sir, our plans have changed. The Ansible must be taken down, or all the wrath of the Enkalamata will descend upon our world. The Seeker artillery must be in our hands before the fleet arrives. I will take Sarkin with me into the tower. Danos, you will lead the remainder of the squad through the temple annex.
Kinda sleepy, so I might lurk a bit. Sounds good.
There are several new patrols guarding the entrance to the temple. We must take these patrols
Take
quickly
a nap
and leave
off
no
the back,
survivors to one
so that
base.
you're ready for later on.
Our
Prepared
goal is at
for
the other end of this valley.
the attack. Oh. Okay, we are. Oh, was that? I remember this place. All right, was it this? No, we didn't.
What was that note?
Oh. I'm getting deja vu from this. I'll still be listening to stream. Just may not be quite looking at it. Yes. And remember, closing your eyes for a bit to relax is always a good thing as well. Oh no, that's not good. There we go.
Guys, you know, shouldn't we be...
A moment, human. This place is sacred to us. The Seekers made a grave error in building their fortress on an Aurelian holy site.
Okay.
Make no mistake, human. This was a deliberate and intended slight. It is common Seeker strategy to demoralize an indentured people by turning their most treasured sites into Seeker fortresses.
I thought it was nice. Yeah.
Of these sacred halls.
It's kind of nice that we're not using any normal weapons any longer. It's all powered.
Shall we reveal ourselves?
The more you use a power, the more powerful it becomes. Which is kind of nice. Oh. Like our lightning bolt thing is level 3 and our force push thing is level 5. And it's super powerful. Dual wielding system, would it make sense for us to be able to use power with and shoot with other? Yeah. But I'm kinda practicing up some of the superpowers so that we don't have to use normal weapons. Oh, we actually were able to get over. Nice. Increase flare damage and radius. Now we can use.
Incoming.
This world is too quiet. Nothing but the lapping of waves and the dripping of water.
Yes, it is not beside any other.
Patience, brother. In a few short years,
Oh.
we'll return to Earth and hunt in the shadows again.
The Bridge of Erdan has held 10,000 years, human. It will hold for a little longer.
This incursion ends here.
Human, if we can just break through and put those doors at our back, we might be able to stem this tide.
Surrender, filth. Surrender and die.
Surrender and die, huh? That's not how this works out. Oh. Yes, I will surround them. Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. Oh, objective completed. Oh no. That's not a good objective. Whoa! Whoa! Oh. Surge. Okay, he seems dead. There we go.
What is this?
This is the hope of Aurelia, human. All that we see is noble and good and pure. All that we aspire to is held in that symbol. It is held in you.
I never understood.
It is a heavy weight you carry, human. Epochs of history, the tides of war, the blood of nations. All of this is laid at your feet.
But how can I possibly be held to... I mean, it's not...
It is not easy being God.
Probably intentional, to be honest. Okay. This is the kind of humor the writers like. Yeah. Hey, the Triforce. Yeah. The Triforce of Power.
What has just happened?
That room. It was... waiting for me. Has been waiting for me. Waiting for so long.
We must move now before the Seekers circle around the bridge.
Yes. Yes, let's go.
Time shift power. Use it for high and speed attack.
Excuse me, Exalted One.
What? I'm not sure I like it. I'm not sure I like time shift at all. I mean, I don't see anything about it, how we can use it for as an attack. Oh, okay, there we go. It's kind of like a dash attack. It seems kind of weak though.
need to get that grate open.
Stand back.
I had not realized the conveniences accompanied with deity.
Ugh. I'm gonna feel that one in the morning.
This door will not open unless we trigger the release switch.
I'll get it. Where's the switch?
Down there. You are brave, human.
Then use our powers to press the switch. Is this where we want to go? Currently, I have no idea where to go.
We have incoming.
Okay, I think we found the way to go. We just need to kill some enemies. Oh! Have you ever played Trapped or Deception? None. Oh, now it starts to focus on me, huh? Damn it, I can see those. Can you just be destroyed? Thank you. Now the door is magically open.
Excuse me, Exalt. So this entire thing is made of glass, eh? This is supposed to be an advantage. I'll take that.
Excuse me, Exalted.
So they literally did Q. They sound like in the games. Not interesting. Kappa. Tecmo is the publisher, right? Because Trapped is a typical in the name. Inception, I haven't heard of any AAA games under that name, so it's most likely, you know. Grab 2005? Ah, okay. Well, sounds like an indie game because it has a very bad name. Kappa. Okay, let's see if it's possible to use this now. No, it's still inactive.
What was that noise? What was that noise?
There we go. All right. Whoa. Oh, we're supposed to jump down like this, huh? I just like how casually we can just run up to enemies and just kill them. Okay, so we just need to kill a lot of enemies here in order to make that door. Or maybe we're supposed to run up here. No stealth needed here. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay, there we go. Uh-oh. Whoa! Oh yeah, I'm totally dead. Oh! Uh-oh. Hey, I can jump into it. Hehehehe. Sounds like you crash your vehicle all the time, but it turns out it's actually yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna try to run up here. I might have killed myself by doing this, but I don't know. Maybe we're supposed to walk up here. Oh. Yeah, this was the objective. There we go. Infinite spawning enemies, and it was up here that we were supposed to run all along. Alright.
Exalted One, we are about to enter the relay chamber. If you can trigger the 4 polarity switches on each of the dual potions,
Hey, what's up, Ambo? How you doing? And yeah, we're doing some epic Advent Rising today. We're pretty close to the end, so we will be able to begin on dot tag later. Oh. Here we go. Good, thanks. Just got back. How you been? Been doing good. As you know, been having a good time over at Vice and been coding most of the day. And now we're gaming. Using our overpowered superpowers to bring down mechs by us, force pushing them. There we go. And this game is notorious. I mean, this game has infinite waves of enemies. And you need... not always, but most of the time. And you need to kind of like focus to do the main objective. And you're like, is it PC? Yeah, I only do PC games. Here we go. But yeah, this game is pretty old. I mean, maybe not that old, maybe 2008, 2007. No, maybe 2005, yeah. So this game is pretty new. I mean, if we compare to all of the other games that I've played.
The Seekers grow agitated. They begin to suspect. Throw the next switch here.
Yeah, where is the next switch, game? Okay, so with maybe all of them are red. Ah, so it was 2005. Nice. Okay, I think it's... we have done this once, so... I don't think we've done this. Ah, perfect!
Only one more in the substation's Dirac beam.
One more?
Reversed. Hurry, Exalted One. Time escapes us.
I hope this is not timer based. Where is the final one then? Is it down here? Ah, there we go. No! I thought that was a console. What do you usually play? My backlog? That is literally most games. As you see in the title, I've beaten 453 games over the past since the beginning of 2016, and that is literally every genre. So I play everything. Jesus, that's impressive. Thank you. Yeah. I break down games, I analyze, or at least what I think is a good game, what mechanics I like, what I don't like, how one can improve it and so on. But that comes with my craft. Oh, so each one of these might have multiple consoles? That explains it. So yeah, so I partly beat games because of I'm into game design and game deving, and partly I do it just because it's fun.
Perfect.
And that Humble Bundle and Steam sales and GOG sale has given us way too many games.
Run, my warriors. Seekers are even now charging up for a null space signal.
Oh yeah. Nice. Oh, pretty cool. Do you want to get into gaming journalism? Ah, not journalism. I do game development. I'm a programmer by trade. So I'm into making games. Actually, I'm actually working on building up my own game studio, so that so that I can go big. Yep. So that is my current goal. To finish my first big game. Never heard good things about game journalists. They can be good, but journalism today is a dying. It's a dying art, one could say. I want to go into gaming as a 3D modeler. Nice. I'll say that because they are comprised of journalism. Yeah. Aside from knowing one field, one thing that is super important for any game developer, no matter what kind of field they are in, is to play lots of games. Where are we supposed to go, Kappa? I think, okay, this is not it, because we have already been here and gives you an idea of what makes a good game. Yes, and what makes a good game, the perfect part of what makes a good game is that it is all about taste. So every game developer will have their own intuition of what is a good game, and that essentially is what makes games different from each other's, is because everyone has their own sense of what should be in a good game. And one thing that happens a lot when you kind of like have an artist doing game design or game development, and then they don't play a lot of games, is that they start to think more like an artist and less of a gamer, and then and then the game product actually suffers. I think I might have to actually shoot them here. I mean, bounce back. Actually, let's do this. Let's swap the acolyte. Hey, Nani. We still won't have Surge open. I think I'm not sure I need to destroy those. Right? Oh, I don't need to destroy them. Excuse me. There we go. What does make them think like an artist? How so? Let's say that you're going to make a melee combat system, and an artist says like, yeah, but isn't it better like if you make an attack then you can only dodge after your attack is done? You know, an artist wants to kind of like show like literally everything, you know, make it as beautiful as perfect. And one thing that is ugly to an artist is animation cancelling. So let's say that you make an attack, and then right in the middle of the attack you need to dodge. A lot of artists are going to argue against you that breaking an attack animation for a dodge is a bad thing and not very realistic. So the byproduct of this makes that you get a game like where you make an attack, but the enemy is very fast. So the gamer feels like, damn, I need to be able to dodge, and like, yeah, but we're already in an attack, so we can't dodge. And I can just name a few games which does this, like Witcher 2, Witcher 3 doesn't do it, but Witcher 2 does it, and what other games does it? Pretty many AAA games actually, but I don't really play those games too much. Oh right, Alex does it too, in a sense. Witcher 2 does it? Can you name a fighting game that does it? Not a... Tekken? What, Tekken? Yeah, I mean, if you make a kick in Tekken, you cannot really interrupt your kick in order to start a block, right? But it works in Tekken. It works. So I don't really blame them. Well, you're not wrong, Captain. But that is pretty much the only fighting game that I know of. I mean, fighters are a bit different. At the moment, I'm thinking more of third-person, like third-person hack and slash games. Those are very, yeah. Third-person hack and slash game is probably one of the best things. I mean, best examples. But then you also have a bit of matter of taste here. Me as a game designer is going to say that if you're in an attack, you should be able to break the attack into a dodge. But that is kind of like what I find enjoyable in melee combat systems. So that is generally how I design it. Some other designers would most likely be like, right, nah, I don't really like that that kind of like system. So I have refined this system instead. But as long as you can avert damage in a good way and that you do not punish too much of aggressive plays. You know, Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is a perfect example. Monster Hunter, that's right. Monster Hunter is one of those, and God Eater 1 and 2. Oh, perfect. Like, there you can have like super slow attack. Like, you make an attack, it takes 2 seconds to do it. And you're like, I can see the enemy starting to make an attack, but I cannot roll. And then you see yourself fling around, flail and fly all over the place. And you're like, damn it! I cannot break my attacks. The monster runs, it moves 4 or 5 times faster than me, and I'm just a slow turtle and cannot do anything. So in order to kind of like dodge an attack in those cases, is literally you need to stand still and just wait for a big attack window to open and then attack. But if you were able to break an attack into a dodge, you could focus more on attacking the enemy a lot more instead of being passive. And then you can focus more on reaction speeds in order to go into defensive or, you know, dodging, averting damage. So you get a more faster paced, more, you know, just a more active gameplay rather than sitting and kind of like looking too much. Yeah.
Well, no, Exalted One, but
and doing it with
you get less of a passive
now I
combat.
suspect that it is my translator that is malfunctioning.
But there are more ways to design that. But
Next steps will need to be taken.
Monster Hunter is a good example.
Commander,
Oh man,
I'm getting word from the
holy
capital.
shit.
There has been a coup.
A coup? But who
Oh
would do
boy.
this? I thought we had routed out all of the opposition.
Did Savant have any other
Flashbacks.
admirers? He seemed like the type who would surround himself with other type
With true Aurelians, who don't want the blood of our people shed in
Weapon
vain.
attacks look super slow and sometimes enemies run
will
away
not
and
see
get to
our
pursue them
millennial
all over the place.
death
Yeah, I mean, it is true that it takes 20. It can take 20 minutes to kill him to kill one of those enemies if you solo.
They will be able to
But
organize and
Monster
keep us
Hunter
off
has
until
fast
their off-world
fast
fleets
weapons as
arrive.
well. It's
You
just
are
that
condemning our
a lot
world
of
to
people like
annihilation.
those slow
No,
charge up, super
You
big
did
ass
that.
swords.
By
But you have short
willfully
swords, and
challenging
they are
our
pretty
rightful
fast.
patrons with your embarrassing
Kind of like
accusations.
Chronicles was like this too. Fighting was so slow and annoying.
And we can only hope to pull something from the ashes by giving you and your conspirators to the Seekers. Without
Sorry for talking over the cutscene.
apologies.
And you really think that your loving patrons will let this go with a slap on the wrist? I've seen what these bastards do to worlds they don't like. They erase them.
Enough from you! I always found the old religion to be tiresome.
Thus you seal your doom.
Artistic games focus too much on visuals and story and then actual gameplay. Yeah, but that could be a limitation of the design group. Like, let's say that you have 3 or 4 kind of like, you know, in the game designers. In the game designers, you know, they don't have a lot of resources, so they have to go with what they have. So it's kind of common that you have 2-3 artists and no coder. So what would you do if you didn't have any coder and you had a lot of coding needed to be done? You end up making walking simulators instead. And that is what happens. Oh no, the game crashed. Game crash. We got the general protection fault again. Yeah, that was a kind of weird crash. That one shouldn't have happened. Oh boy. There we go. Well, at least now we know how walking simulators are made, I guess. Yeah, walking simulators are kind of like very common that they're made by 1 or 2 people. Like Dear Esther is probably a good example of one of the first walking simulators made by 1 person in the Source engine, as a matter of fact. And I kind of feel like if you feel like you can only make those games because of, you know, skill limitations, then sure, try to break through by making such games. There's not much you can do about it, actually.
Has Maren gotten word of what happened? She'll want to hear about the ridiculously flawless victory we pulled off.
But since I'm a coder, I can make very ugly games, but they can have a lot of cool gameplay mechanics, because I know gameplay design very,
Is it wrong for me to be
very
excited
well.
about overcoming incredible odds and defeating an enemy who's not only evil?
So I can make games with absolutely no animations or super bad animations.
Now I suspect that it is my
I think this also applies to hidden object games.
Baneth, my friend, can you
Very
connect
nice
to the
art style.
council?
Yeah.
Our next steps will need to be taken swiftly. Commander,
I don't understand
getting word from the capital.
the hidden
There's
object
been a
game
coup, but who would do
games,
this?
especially
I
the
thought we
developers
routed
behind
out
them.
all
I need
the
to talk
Did Savannah
to
make
more
up
such.
Myers?
I know
He
that
seemed like the type who
Aloof
surrounded
was
himself with
is
True
one of
Aurelians
those.
who don't want the blood of our people shed in vain.
Oh,
I will not see our millennial debt spurned.
You do not know what you do. If we fail to move quickly on the Seeker forces scattered around the planet, they will be able to organize and keep us off balance until their off-world fleets arrive. You are condemning our world to annihilation.
No, Commander. You did that. By willfully challenging our rightful patrons with your embarrassing accusations. You have forced our hand, Commander. And we can only hope to pull something from the ashes by giving you and your conspirators to the Seekers. With our
but those sound that no, I've played
And
enough
you
of
really
those.
think that your loving patrons will let this go with a
I
slap
think
on the
some
wrist?
might
I've
try.
seen what these bastards
I think
do to worlds they don't like. They
some try
erase
to
them.
go for easy money.
from you!
Or you no, kind of like you try to push out something which is goes fast to develop. You can push out a lot of them. You know, that is a strategy as well. I've seen such developers. I'm not too much of a fan of those kind of approaches, since I tend to I tend to go for more ambition. Yeah, but that mostly goes for because that is those kind of games I play. Kappa. Like there are many game developers who kind of like make some, but by now we're talking about indies who can make some small game and so on, and they're like, well, oh hey, I've done this cool game which I'm going to sell, and I'm like, and when you see the gameplay, you're like, yeah, I would never buy that. I mean, there's barely any gameplay in these games, but nicely done. And so you have those as well. My problem is that I always go for more complicated stuff. So that means I rarely get everything done. Or some stuff is hard to get done. You know. We still need to, oh, like this, I actually need to learn how to make this. This one shouldn't be too difficult, though, to make this kind of shader. Senate chamber. Ah, we're still here. I think we're getting close to beating the game.
So now it becomes painfully obvious that this traitor has sold our centuries of labor and trust. For what? For a myth? Will the destruction of our world, the wholesale eradication of our race, be worth the discovery of these hairy little primates, Inorum?
I mean, we have evidence of them destroying Earth. I mean, they really don't have an argument.
The Seekers are killing them because they are terrified of the powers they possess.
If these humans are so amazingly powerful, Lysinor, then why are they practically extinct?
This debate is pointless, Saban.
Because you
None of us
threw
here
an
belong to the
asteroid
old faith.
into their
The few
home
members
planet.
of the council who did left when the coup began. We're not here to validate the deity.
Simulation game where the player sort of manage a shop or a restaurant. Yeah.
Move on.
Yes.
I played
What
Pizza
has been the
Tycoon.
Seeker response to the coup?
The Seekers vow
And
their
Racketeer.
response will be measured, as long as we deliver the rest of the Maleficent party as we take them into custody.
The rest.
We have already delivered one of your exalted ones into their hands. The other will be there shortly.
This ends now.
You, the troglodyte, dares intrude upon our deliberations.
It appears a blow to the head was not enough to teach you proper etiquette, human. Perhaps something more direct is required.
You have shatter power. Use it to fire ice shards from your hands. Okay.
What was that noise?
Wait, why is he? Should have paid more. Mania, Delicious Dino Dash. Never heard of them. I only know of old games. I never heard of Dino Dash on these. Are those phone, you know, like smartphone games, phone games, and so on? Mobile games. Oh, they're on PC? Yeah, but are they phone games? Most phone games do get ported to PC, I mean, because it is so easy to port them. Simulation games can be pretty cool, but it depends on the game. Most simulations games have a pretty cool gameplay, like Pizza Tycoon. That one was really cool. SimCity 2000 was the easiest one. I had most fun with it. And Afterlife is really cool.
I know where the Enco will be holding Marin. If you wish to live long enough to save her, we must go now.
Oh, I'm so dead. I'm dead. I'm not gonna survive this. Okay, so we kinda need Surge here for that. Afterlife sounds interesting. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I played it several times and love it. Actually, I like the concept more than the gameplay because the game forces you to do some stuff which is not very fun. But overall, I mean, especially for its time, it's an amazing game. Most games in the 90s actually have a lot more creativity than most modern games. Because in modern games we kind of like, we have so many blueprints over games. Like if we want to make an... oh. I killed my friend. You know, it is so much easier for us nowadays to just say like, oh, we want to make a game like this, and then there's already games who does it. So we end up making such games instead. While in the 90s they would be like, yeah, I have this cool idea, and then
Where did they
like,
go?
they poop out some game which I've never seen before. You know, like MDK or Afterlife.
Status report.
Or some other game.
Ports and transit points above harness.
Sure, Afterlife isn't that much new though, since it's in city style, and MDK is a third-person shooter.
This victory will not be complete until every last Seeker claw is torn from our world. We have much to do.
But there are some very peculiar games, like Soulbringer. Like, sure, it's an RPG, but all of the game mechanics in that game is like,
We have caught an enemy
how were you
unprepared.
even able to put together
It is
this
an
game?
enemy,
It's
nonetheless, who outnumbers
it is
our
jazzy.
fleet 2-1, who has superior weapons and hard fortifications.
And it's awesome.
Three wings
It's one of
our
my
fleet
favorite
have trapped the remnants of the
RPGs
Seeker Armada
because of it.
in the skies above the main Seeker base on the island of Tehran. The rest of the fleet is converging on this point. The Seekers see this base as the anchor to their rule over our world, and are confident that they can hold it indefinitely. We are about to prove otherwise. We rise from the water with the coming dawn, and burn these demons from off our world in one fatal strike! The entirety of our fleet will strike at dawn as well, and fill the air with such fire and noise as has not been seen on this world since its creation. Dawn approaches, brethren. Hone your blades.
I mean, it is super weird. Uh-oh. I'm almost dead. I'm almost dead. I mean, the thing is, you cannot really aim for a specific limb in that game, but let's say that if you're standing on a hill and the enemy is not, then if you make an attack that is aimed for the crotch, then you will hit the enemy in the head and you can easily kill them. Or you kind of like... It is very interesting use of inverse kinematics. I mean, the game even has inverse kinematics. It's pretty insane for that type of game. Oh no, I died. D-Day! This is freaking D-Day. Okay. I think I'm going to time shift them. Yeah, this game sounds weird. I mean, yes, how they put together the gameplay is just amazing. Oh, come on! Holy shit! This game, this mission, like really. Okay. Well, I think we might have found a way to deal with this. Okay, checkpoint. Thank you, Gail. But yeah, there's no game like Soulbringer, because no one makes games like that. And the reason why they made the game like that is because they had no idea how to make an RPG. They had no blueprints of it. Like if someone wants to make a, you know, a bit more hack and slash RPG, they will just take The Witcher 3 or maybe Zelda, Dark Souls, or something like that. And you have your game. You know exactly how to design it. Just you only need to copy paste. Because of that, it is actually pretty difficult to be creative when it comes to games, because you know you already know so many ways to make a game. But back in those times, in the 90s and early 2000s, you didn't really have too much to go on, so you just went with whatever you felt during the development time, and it is very hard to do that kind of stuff nowadays because of all the knowledge. It's kind of interesting, actually. Oh no. I'm trying to get into that state. I mean, it's a very good game, a very good way to be inspired to make kind of some new games is to play old games, because they have so many weird ideas sometimes, which is just amazing. Yeah, the PS1 and PS2 era had so many good games. Yeah, that too. They're more unique and willing to take risks. A bit unsure about that. Yeah. Oh. I mean, when it comes to the AAA, you don't really want to take risks. But many PC games weren't AAA. Like the early, like there was a Spanish game studio which made the first Dark Souls game in like 2001 or something like that, called Severance: Blade of Darkness. And in that game, you can kind of, and each weapon, when you get good enough with a weapon, you can kind of like make different execution attacks and so on. And one kind of like Blade of Darkness could decapitate an enemy, and if you were able to actually hit an enemy with it, they would die straight away. It doesn't matter how much health they would have. If they couldn't protect their head, they were dead. And that was just amazing. That studio doesn't exist anymore, which is a shame. Like, no one is allowed to sell that game anymore because no one owns the rights for it. Wait, what game are we talking about? Severance: Blade of Darkness. Oh, my bad. Alright. Whoops. I don't know this one. No one knows that one. I mean, Rugen knew of it, and that is the only reason why I know of it. That game is freaking that game is amazing. It's one of the coolest games I ever played. I am totally a Severance fanboy. Now, Dark Souls is way more polished than that game. But that game is, in some ways, it is even greater than Dark Souls. Oh. It makes me happy just to think of that game. Ah, it crashed. General protection fault. Thankfully, we are not losing any progress because this game has a good checkpoint and saving system. Damn it! I really want to begin on .tag GU. Really, I really do. Boom. Have you played Bushido Blade? Oh yeah, Bushido Blade is awesome. Holy moly, that game. That's... oh. Just thinking of Bushido Blade makes me happy. It is the first fatal hit system. I mean, first game with a fatal hit system that I ever played. Yeah. I mean, the fatal hit system was just awesome. Actually, Bushido Blade is one of those games which actually made me very interested in designing fatal hit systems. Like in the VR game that I need to work on more. I really want to implement the fatal hit system. And with motion controllers make fatal hit systems better. So that is even a big reason to have a fatal hit system. Awesome, yes. I really like the theme song in this game. Thought that game would probably be a good inspiration. Yes! I really think it will get more trendy to make a bit more fatal hit systems in the future, so that so that you, or rather, so that we don't end up with a Skyrim, on high difficulties where you crack someone's head open with a two-handed axe 50 times before you kill them. I think that kind of design to enemy health will disappear. as the trend shifting to a more sensible, you know, damage health calculation to different parts of the body. Like, most RPG mechanics have become pretty trendy to have in every game. No, not in every genre. And the same I think is with Fatal Hit systems. You know, not entirely hardcore Fatal Hit systems, but, you know, somewhat Fatal Hit systems. Because you can use it to different degrees. Oh. It takes quite a lot in order to destroy them. I think we will just ignore. Oh. Whoa! Oh, this is bad. There we go. There we go. Oh! Wow, okay, okay. Okay. Actually, I have no idea what I should do here. I might have to destroy all of the buildings, maybe a number of enemies. Maybe I should just run in a specific direction where I haven't run yet. Like over here. But it feels like I came from this place, so I don't know. Are we running backwards or are we running in the right direction? Backwards. This is where we started. Okay. So maybe this means now. Oh, something seems open here. Or maybe not. Maybe some. No? Okay. Okay, it looks still as locked as ever in this place. Great. Despite of us having literally destroyed everything. Oh, really? Really? Like, really? Oh. Elevator, huh? With a locked door. Oh. With two doors. Oh, no. Oh well, maybe we are supposed to walk down there. I have no idea. Checkpoint. Perfect. That was the right choice. Oh, we can't jump into it. Oh shit, I'm dead. Oh boy, I'm so dead. I'm so stuck. So dead and stuck. Perfect combination. Ah. Still, I'm so hyped. I think we will use time shift here. It's so hard you can stop jumping. Captain. Oh, okay, so you... Oh. That is so evil. That is really evil. Jump, tap, and jump. Jump, tap, and jump, jump. It's gonna be nice when we stop coughing though. These small coughs are so difficult to you know, mute. Especially now on my new setup, it's a lot harder to actually mute. Have you been ill? No, it is a new reaction to pollen, actually. It's May, it's spring, it's high season at the moment. Like, I can drag my hand and almost my entire hand will be green because of the pollen release from the birch. I think it's called birch, yeah. Here in Sweden we call them björk. So, but I think the English translation is birch. Could be wrong, but who cares? Yeah, birch? Yeah, I think so. The angry birch. Birch tree? Yeah, the tree. Oh, no music? Nani? Ah, there we go. Music again. I should have max velocity when I'm jumping. But yeah, we're gonna move back to the old games once we're done with Dot Hack. I'm pretty happy that we found a good deal on Dot Hack GU. I really like the first Dot Hack games. I wonder if this is how speedrunners actually beat the game. Yeah, that and floating outside the map. I think they would use time shift a bit more. And probably glitch in some way to fly. Aren't they dungeon crawlers? Yeah, they are. They have a lot of dungeons actually. I really like their dungeon generation because you customize it a lot. So you can get some very specific dungeon setups depending on how you want to grind ingredients or just level up. Oh, come on, game. Okay. Oh. Physics! Okay. Then we are going to do this. They seem to work well. There we go. Nice. Perfect. The only way to get up. Oh boy. I think we're going to do it like this. We're going to keep it over there, and then we have Surge on left. Okay. Four. Yeah. Oh, there we go. But yeah, this game was literally designed for speedrunners. You know, with infinite enemies and everything. Everything else. Wait, is this where we started? Oh, no. It probably means I have to stand here. What? Okay. A lot of things can just be ignored in this game. Yeah. What? Now it's open. Oh. Okay. We weren't supposed to be in here? Wait, what? We are supposed to be in here. Okay, we just need to kill enemies now. Okay, so at least we can shoot them. Oh, okay, now it works. So we just had to kill all of the enemies, then what there? Let's go. All right. Here we go then. Since I know that we're pretty close to the end, it just makes me want to more get through this faster. Oh no! One of these enemies, huh? Even when down, they log. Oh, let's try out Shatter on them. Oh, okay. So they block Shatter. But the only way to kill these is by spamming Surge. There we go. Wait, this is just the beginning. Kinda looks like it. Oh shit, I'm dead. There's so many enemies in this place. That's spawn. Actually need shatter here. Navigate falling rocks. Oh. Okay. Gain one-man army to another level. Yep. In this game, your planet Earth is completely destroyed by an asteroid. How many spells can you use actually? I saw someone cast shield. The shield can cause crashes, so I don't want to cast shield. Oh. Nice. And someone out there beat it in less than an hour. They only beat it in less than an hour after having first beat this game normally like what we do, and then practiced over 100 hours in order to beat it in less than an hour. So while it is possible to beat this game in under an hour, no one will do it in the speedrunner way because it's not fun. Unless you're actually doing it because you're a speedrunner. But every speedrunner generally call it first you do your the first playthrough. First playthrough is never done as a speedrunner, but purely out of fun. We're definitely playing more of it than we ever will. Exactly. We will only play this game for 6 hours. But some speedrunners play every game in speedrunner mode. Not too many though. Very few in fact. Okay, so we're supposed to go through here, but we need to kill enemies. I think it. Okay. This is kind of weird. Why isn't... No enemies have spawned. Okay, this is the enemy we have to kill. There we go. Now we can... either enemies will spawn now, or the door will be green. Hey, look at that, the door is green. Perfect. Kill all of the enemies, magically the door is open. Tap up. Oh, we are up on the ship. Oh, weird.
Marin! It's me.
Gideon? No! Get out of here! You don't know what this thing can do.
Now let's save the last lady or the last female in the world. Eori. The last human female in the world. Definitely heard this soundtrack I played in Castle Summer before. I'm not sure where, Kappa. Definitely not this game, right? Oh. For Command and Conquer? Really? I don't think so. Oh, okay. Checkpoint, huh? Oh, really? That didn't knock it back? Maybe I am supposed to push him when go up, push like this. No, that didn't work. Okay, so I cannot push him. Maybe teleportation would be better? No. We'll need to actually find a way to damage him. At first I thought we were supposed to knock Stone's back trip, but maybe I'm supposed to do it like this instead. But he doesn't get damaged by this. So, we have to try some other way. Maybe we need to use Aeon Pulse against his face. Lift it up, lift it up. Okay, there we go. No? Okay. That hasn't hurt him. Maybe I'm supposed to use lift. Ah, there we go. It's lift. Or not? Have to go near it to punch it in the face. Yeah. I really think you need to. It worked well. Might well. We need to select his boulder and throw it back into his face. I'm fairly certain that that's how it works. But in order to do this, I kind of like need to remove all of these other shit stuff. seems to be working. The problem is that I cannot select it. I know we can select the big boulder, but only when it is in mid-air. Multi-lift? Oh. Oh, damn it. Oh, what? It didn't even want to. I don't like this boss fight. It is. So, okay, I'm just gonna look up because I feel like we've tried literally everything. I think we need to do the boulder on him, but it is super hard to even target it. This boss is very bad for all the wrong reasons. Oh, use Surge. Okay. Apparently Surge is everything you need to use. And you can even charge it up. I actually have no idea. Okay, so we did damage. By punching it in the face. I mean, if punching it in the face actually dealt damage, then why couldn't we shoot it in the face and deal damage? You know, we shot it in the face without dealing damage. That you have to punch it. Oh, you're totally right, also.
Bring it on.
Punch it was definitely the solution. Okay, so now we know that we can charge up Surge. I had no idea that was possible.
Exalted One! Gideon! This is Gideon. What's wrong? Our dismantle teams have just discovered a massive self-destruct system. It is triggered to go off shortly. You must leave. Where can we leave you? Oi.
Typical.
We gotta go. We're pretty deep underground. Hope you brought your running
What
shoes.
are you talking about? We're standing on a landing platform. Cover me while I get this thing airborne.
Wasn't there another lady? Oh, she died. Don't worry about it. It was a sad moment, actually. Very sad then again. Yeah, so this dude lost his brother and his wife. You know, Olivia was the wife. I don't remember seeing that happen. Yeah, you were gone. For those, it happened in 20 minutes time when you were gone, Kappa. This dude went Super Saiyan at that moment. Yeah, he goes Super Saiyan quite a few times in this game. He might do it one more time at the final boss. You never know. Receive the substation generators. There we go. Was that Lego game? Oh yeah, that one. If it wasn't for Datek, we would have probably played Total Annihilation. Or Clive Barker's Undying. Oh boy. That would be another game I wouldn't have seen coming. Which one? Total Annihilation. Yes? Okay. You need gaming PC to do Theme Hospital? I don't think so. It is a DOS game. But I don't really feel like playing Theme Hospital at the moment. We will play it someday though. Stuck here. Yeah, we died. Why is this one already burning? Holy shit. Oh no, jump out of it! Holy shit. For some reason my vehicle is taking damage all of the time. I think it's because I'm crashing into stuff. Like that. Okay, it's not burning at the moment. Nice. Okay, so I'm just taking too many hits there. 2 hits. This one is already burning. Oh, come on. Oh no! Yeah, this one I'm dead. One more hit, I die. Oh, I got lucky there. Uh-oh, I need to jump out. Oh, this is bad. I'm dead. Just kill me already. Damn it. Oh no. There we go. Yeah, slide from down. Ship is on fire! Yeah. One more hit and we are dead, I think. One more hit and we're dead. Uh-oh, no! Did I die? Come on! I'm not gonna spend like 15 minutes to redo this part. They should have made a freaking checkpoint there. I cannot use scout mode here. We cannot use scout mode. It's the point. Just jump into the lava. Yeah. I jumped into the lava with God mode and I died. I was trying to run across, you know. Here we go. There we go. Like this ship is not in the lava. Yeah, it is not ring. Holy Jesus, the enemies are spawning in that room. Okay, that was heavily... Checkpoint, checkpoint, come on! GG. That part was annoying. Mm-hmm. Superman. Not bad. Hey, what's up, Wriggle? So how you doing, Wriggle? It feels like the game should be over, but we still have the final boss, I think.
You've gone local on me. I kinda like it. It's beautiful.
Is it going to be hard leaving so soon, Enorum? It seems as though we just arrived.
It is always difficult to leave my home, Exalted One. But the home I leave now is very different from the Aurelia I left to find you.
How so?
It is a place filled with hope. Never before have my people stood so united. The possibilities spread out before us seem limitless. We need to be down to the envoy vessel shortly, my friend, so I'd better go and make some final assignations. If you'll excuse me.
Did he really just call us friends?
I thought my translator had gone buggy.
I wonder what this Galactic Senate is going to be like. It seems like I'm still getting used to the strangeness of this world.
I don't know. Norm said that there are some races out there that even make the Seekers look tame.
Is it too late to change my flight?
Hey, come on, no worries, man. You happen to be traveling with someone who can shoot fire out of his hands.
Oh, Gideon. There's something I've been wanting to tell you.
Finally.
Well, you're not the only demigod on this flight.
Looks like the humans aren't excessively tall. Nice. Oh, that was it? Who was the final boss? Oh, Wriggle, you probably don't know, but those were the only two human beings living in the universe. The rest of the human species died out, by the way. But this is kinda interesting. This is not... We haven't fought the final boss yet in the game. Does this game have multiple please? Final boss was the thing throwing rocks? No, that was not the final boss actually. There is another final boss. Okay, I don't care, we beat the game. Yep. Okay, I think we see the boss, the final boss. I probably shouldn't have skipped the credits though. I probably should not have skipped the credits. My bad. Yeah, no, right. Oh, that's bad. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, actually survived. And I feel stuck somewhere. Okay. Oh, I can't punch him in the face. Okay. So, I'm supposed to... Okay. This is kind of shit. Backing out one of them? Yeah, have a good one. Okay, and there the game crashed. Let's see. Really? 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 Okay. You have to throw bots at Really? Nej, jag står. What the fuck? Really? 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 Fuck you. Thank you, game, for having unwatchable. I should have used Alt F4 this game during the credits and say that it was going to be
Greetings. Give my regards to Oblivion.
Really? Instant kill. Oh! Did I die? Okay. Nice ability. This game doesn't pretend. Oh, great! We're dying. Obviously.
Come with me,
Astrid
human.
Yoda.
There is much to be done.
All right. So that game is beaten.